focus is all on the Cups this evening. Liverpool have found out their opponents in this season's Champions League group stage. Plus, we've got Carabao Cup action to look forward to as well. Will Jurgen Klopp bring the changes against a Gunners side still smarting for the defeat to the Reds on Monday night? It's Liverpool against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, a place in the quarter-finals up for grabs. Join us on LFC TV and LFC TV Go, where we are live with all the build-up from 6:45. Plus, we'll have live audio commentary from kick-off at 7:45. Welcome to our Matchday Live preview show. In the meantime, it may be the B team on the field at Anfield tonight, but very much the A team in here tonight. Jason McAteer is here.
I like what you did there. I like that.
Good to see you, Jason. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, it's just so
Up
busy
down
tonight.
The country,
everywhere. But just today's been one of those days. Champions League thrown in, so much to rattle through. In some ways, it's going to be a three-man job. So let's bring in Neil Mellor as well, who's also here. We now have two men, experts on scoring against Arsenal. We'll get to that in a second. But first, Jason, Champions League draw has been done. What do you make of the group that Liverpool have been given? Favourable in some ways. We have Group D, Ajax, we have Atalanta and FC Midtjylland of Denmark as well.
It could have been a lot worse. Ajax, I think, was semi-finalists a couple of seasons ago. Atalanta surprising everybody. Probably last season's surprise package in the Champions League. Free scoring, lots of goals from them, a little bit unknown, but finished third in the Italian league last season. I think Inter and Juventus done them, so they could be that could be an interesting game. I think there'll be goals in that one between Liverpool and Atalanta, and obviously Midtjylland, is that how we say it? Mel, is that how we say it?
I was leaving you to it, Chase. It's
the Danish
it's a new
team.
one on me.
I think we shouldn't have too much of a problem with them. They've obviously qualified last night. I think they beat Slavia Prague 4-1, quite new to the Champions League. But I think, you shouldn't take it for granted. Two tricky games, Ajax and Atalanta. Here's one for you. Ajax have played 3 games this season.
Okay.
What's happened in each of the games? What's happened?
What's happened in each of the games? I have no idea.
Mel's
will probably know the answer.
A bit of research. What's happened in the 3 of their opening league games?
I think they've won 2 and they've drawn 1, but I can't tell you what stat you're after.
OK. There's been a man sent off in each game.
All right, OK. I thought, to be fair, see the way you built that up? I thought it was going to be far more random than that, I have to say.
Well, how many times do you get a man sent off in 3 of your games?
The way you said it was as if it was like something outrageous, like a dog's ran on the field or you know what I mean, or
Tell
something
me when
mad.
that happened last.
What, a dog ran on the
field? Last time
Liverpool
had last time they played 3 games, a man was sent off in each game.
I don't know.
Probably never. So there you go. It was a pretty big stat.
We'll park that. I'll email Jed, the stats man, later on, ask him about that.
OK.
To return to the more serious business of the Champions League draw, which happened earlier, if you just joined us, I think this is a really exciting Champions League group. It's kind of what you want from the champ. There's different things in there. Sometimes with these competitions now, you get the same faces all the time, but here are 3 sides, 2 that Liverpool haven't played and 1 they haven't played competitively since the 60s.
Yeah, I agree with Jason. I think it could have been a lot worse. I think you're looking at Group Pot 2 when it came out and you're thinking, fancy Ajax, and happy we got Ajax. Yes, they got in the Champions League semis a couple of years ago, but that team's been dismantled. All the top players have left. What I would say about the teams Liverpool have in the group is they'll have a go. I don't know a lot about Midtjylland, but certainly Ajax and Atalanta will have a go, which should suit us, because if they are organised and can frustrate us, it could be a little bit more difficult. But Atalanta are a very exciting team over in Italy, and they will be dangerous opponents.
I think what you get with Ajax, Mel's is right. They're one of them. They've been one of them clubs. And funny enough, I was talking to the De Boers about it. They actually wanted to stop it. Sorry, I'll just drop that one in there. Yeah, I was talking about them when they went in there, and they said they wanted to stop the big European teams just coming to Ajax and just taking all the big players for like 20 million, 25 million. They wanted to start asking for like real serious money for their players, but still, they still came and took Ziyech, took Donny van der Beek. So Mel's is right in the respect of they're kind of an unknown quantity every season, but they did win the league last season. Well, they drew on points, didn't they? I think they won on goal difference, wasn't it?
Almost, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, but they still won it, do you know what I mean? So I still, you've got to pay them the utmost respect when you go into this competition to play against them.
Yeah, it's a great fixture with great history around, obviously with the history of the 2 clubs. But as you say, Neil, teams that will potentially have a go. Atalanta, very dangerous, 3-4-3. They're a really kind of dynamic style. We saw that against City previously last year in the Champions League and what they've done in Serie A. And Midtjylland, it's a fairy tale for them. This is their first ever campaign in the Champions League. You get to play at Anfield. It's a great stage that they will come probably and try and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I think with teams like Midtjylland, you think they'd be desperate for the supporters to be there. That could make such a big difference. You know, I'm not sure even how big the ground is, but I wouldn't imagine it's anywhere near the size of the other teams in the group. So it can make a big difference. And unfortunately for them, I have no idea what the rule is over there. But certainly for our games, it looks like the supporters unfortunately won't be inside. And the supporters make such a big difference. You think about the nights we've had enjoying those Champions League nights, and for Midtjylland who just made up to have someone like Liverpool in the group, obviously Ajax as well, would be desperate for the fans to be there. Unfortunately, can't be.
Yeah, that's going to be the big frustration of this season's Champions League. It looks like, at least in the early rounds. Worth pointing out, Group G, interesting game to throw up. Juventus, Barcelona. Cool. It's Ronaldo against Messi. Once again, I'm sure that one will get built up a fair bit between now and then. OK, there'll be plenty more reaction to the Champions League draw in our Matchday live show on LFC TV. But for the moment, let's head over to Anfield now and to Peter McDowell with how it's all shaping up for the team ahead of the Carabao Cup clash with Arsenal this evening.
Thanks, gents. Welcome to an empty Anfield, which probably with the preoccupation with Champions League has been the first thought on everybody's minds that we're likely to go through a bit more of this before normality, or whatever normality looks like, will be back again. Champions League is one thing, but it was a Champions performance the other night, and it will be a real test, I think, tonight of how much of that brilliance has washed into these players that will get the rare chance to start a game at Anfield tonight, because Pep Lijnders spoke about it during the week, that this isn't potential inside this Liverpool squad anymore. They are proper players, and they will be lent on, make no mistake about it, with autumn and winter approaching fast and a game on average every 4 days. Jurgen Klopp will really need them to be at their very best against the much changed Arsenal team here tonight. Updating you on the injuries in case you haven't been amongst all of that in the last couple of days. Ox still a couple of weeks away. Jordan Henderson, we think, perhaps could be back in contention to be considered at the weekend game against Aston Villa. Still no Joel Matip, and also added to that tonight is Kostas Tsimikas as well, who's got a slight thigh injury, so will not be considered. Other than that, it will be pretty much the same team that took on Lincoln, you would have thought, the other night. James Milner asked to fill in at left back, and will those senior centre-backs in Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez be asked to partner a youngster in the heart of that Liverpool defence? We'll get all of that confirmed for you at 6:45. A word first from Curtis Jones, who so often in these big games has been a hero on the night. Should this go to spot kicks tonight, because that could be the way to settle it? Would there be any nerves if he had to step up to the point?
This game against Arsenal could go to penalties. You took one at Wembley.
And I'll take one again. Definitely. Without a doubt.
Nothing phases you about that?
Nah, it's not even about phasing me. It just, you know, I like to be one of them that when things are not 100% that I'm someone there to try and put it right, and it's not even about taking glory or nothing like that, or handling pressure right, or showing that I'm a confident kid. It's just that I like to try and take the game by the scruff of the neck and just try and stand up when things aren't going right. So I think that penalties are one that, and people think is a bit of luck, but to me it's a chance to put things right. You know, is the game is being a draw for 90 minutes, so now it's your chance as a team to put it right and to come away with a win. So that's how I see it.
How difficult will this Arsenal side be to get past?
I don't think that they'll be happy, and they've got a point to prove and things to put right. So I think that they'll come with a strong team and they'll give it 100%, and they'll come out flying. But I think we're definitely prepared and know what they're gonna do, and we know that it's gonna be a difficult game. But the boys are excited, and we can't wait for the game to get started.
If he was any more laid back, he'd be horizontal, Curtis Jones. Neil, you've watched lots of Curtis Jones for the academy. He plays now as he did then. He's got such kind of comfort, such kind of ease with his surroundings. It's fabulous to see the steps he's made towards that first team.
Yeah, it's been great to watch, and the development he's had over sort of the last 18 months or so has been huge. He's really established himself now in that first team setup. And I think where he's benefited most, yes, he's got that confidence, and you can see that he's expressing himself on the pitch. There's a real belief about him. But I think when you're in with the senior boys in that dressing room, and Jason will know, if you're not behaving in the right way, the senior boys will let you know. And I think when he first went down there, he may well have experienced with a few of the senior boys what it was all about. I'm thinking of James Milner, I'm thinking of Jordan Henderson, Lallana last season as well. Some big characters in that dressing room that really helped him just settle in and think, right, you're not in the academy anymore, you've been the main man, now you're in with the first team boys. And I think they've been a big help in helping him mature and settle into that environment.
Yeah, Mel's is right. There's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. And, you know, people will look at him and think there is an arrogance about him. There is to an extent, but I think he needs that. I think that's the kind of player he is. He needs to know that he's comfortable in that environment. He's comfortable playing, you know, with the best players in the world. He needs to stand out. What I do fear for him this season is we've improved in the areas that he kind of plays in. Jota's come in, Thiago's come in, and I just fear that he's not going to get on the bench or play as much as he might think.
Do you not think he's been in every matchday squad since the Everton game? That's the last one he missed out from.
When was the last time you've seen him? Lincoln.
Been in and out. Came on he's been in the Community Shield. He's been involved. I think he's going to be in the squad.
But Jota and Thiago have come in. I don't know what Mel's thinks. I just feel that he's taken a step backwards on his own merits.
You think the squad has moved?
I think the squad's moved forward, and he's kind of is where he is. I think it's a big season for him. There's no doubt he's very, very talented, and he just needs opportunity. But it's sometimes very difficult to kind of trust a young player to throw him in when you're going for league titles and Champions Leagues, and trust them 100% that they can give you that quality every game for 90 minutes. It's very difficult.
What Mel's bring you and ask your verdict on that. What do you think is a barometer of success for Curtis this season? And if he stays in amongst the group, he's had 16 appearances so far for Liverpool. If he gets another 15, 20 this season, is that a good season for him?
Yeah, and I do expect him to reach those sort of numbers, but I hear what Jace is saying about the inconsistencies of young players, and yes, they want to be at the best all the time, but because they are learning, developing, there is going to be those inconsistencies in the game. But I see Curtis as somebody who is comfortable in that environment. I feel that, you know, and I think the manager will trust him to start him in certain games, perhaps not the bigger games, maybe against a Man City, but certainly in other games this season. I think less than 10 games he played last season, but I fully expect him to double that this season and get a lot more minutes this season and score goals. I think he's a real goal threat from midfield, something that we probably didn't get enough goals from midfield because the front three are so good, of course, but I think Curtis will provide a few more goals from midfield at times this season.
He's an academy player who's now in and around that first team group. Yeah. Rhys Williams, Billy Koumetio, a couple of rungs down that ladder, but starting to feel their way. Rhys Williams was excellent in that debut last time out against Lincoln. Really good performance from a very young centre-half.
Yeah, he's done well, and he was probably happy to see. I think we were already surprised about the player next to him. You know, in Virgil playing centre-half against Lincoln away, but he would have been made up of that news. It would have settled him down. He'd done a post-match interview, didn't he, saying, you know, how good it was to play against him, how much he settled him down, how much he learned from Virgil just playing alongside him. Mel's mentioned it before, you only get better when you're in and around the world's best players, and that's what these lads will do. Sometimes training can only give you so much, but when you see how an established player acts on the pitch, then you learn a lot more. You know, the way he positions himself, the way he talks to players, the way he moves the line up, when is the right time, how he attacks the ball, things like that you learn by actually playing in a competitive game, and that's, you know, that's knowledge that he would have got from playing against Lincoln and playing with Virgil.
Billy Koumetio is another one, Neil. He's a player who's all of a sudden accelerated himself into the reckoning over the course of pre-season. Another player who potentially could feature in games like this. Yeah,
I think when you're a young player like that and you're looking at the centre-half options that Liverpool have at the moment, you think, I might get a chance there. And certainly you want to impress, and Billy Koumetio has done that in pre-season. He started the game against Blackpool, of course, in the pre-season at Anfield, and that would have given him huge confidence. I think at times he'll play 23s, maybe the odd 18 game as well, just to vary it. But this is a night where you're thinking he could well be involved, whether it's from a start or maybe in the second half at some stage. But with all these young players, when that opportunity comes, you want to be ready. And I look at Rhys Williams in the last game. He was probably doing his pre-season with the 23s thinking he's not going to get a chance. He's seen Nat Phillips play, he's seen Billy Koumetio play. Then all of a sudden, he's the one lining up alongside Virgil van Dijk for that game against Lincoln last week. And that's how quickly it can happen for the young boys, so they have to be ready for it.
It's all about taking those chances when they come along, and Jurgen Klopp has shown over his time at the club he certainly gives the young boys opportunities. Gentlemen, we'll pause things there. Thank you for your contribution for the moment. That's all from us for just now. You can join us on LFC TV and LFC TV Go from 6:45. We'll have plenty more build-up to the Carabao Cup clash with Arsenal. Plus, we hope to get some reaction from over in Geneva to Liverpool's Champions League draw. It's going to be a very busy show. We hope to see you there. Bye for now.